Hi, thank you for joining us for this episode of Springdale Today. I'm your host, Mary Jordan. Today we're chatting with Knapp Elementary School third grade teacher Kira Hart, her student Emiliano Manjarrez, and Walton Arts Center Learning and Engagement Director Sallie Zazal. Emiliano is one of 275 Knapp students who attended a performance of Dogman the Musical at the Walton Arts Center in Fayetteville. Based on the worldwide best-selling book series, Dogman the Musical is a hilarious and heartwarming production following the chronicles of Dogman. With the head of a dog and the body of a policeman, Dogman loves to fight crime and chew on furniture. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
We really appreciate it. Now, Sallie, I just hope you could get us started. Talk a little bit about the core philosophy that guides the Walton Arts Center's education initiatives in Northwest Arkansas. What can you share with us about that?
Absolutely. So one of the mission of Walton Arts Center is to bring world-class artists from around the world to our little corner of Arkansas, and that is part of the mission of my team as well. We bring in these arts from around the world for students to have these arts experiences here, and we also make ways for teachers to directly connect it to the curriculum that they have for their classroom.
It's really exciting. There were so many students here today, so many smiles. What do you think is the most significant non-quantifiable outcome of students participating in something like this?
I think that we have two really significant things. You know, one is for the students that come to these shows to see themselves and see their neighbors on stage. I think that that's really important for all students. And then also, it's important for them to feel like Walton Arts Center is a place for them as they continue to grow, that we have something for them that we can offer.
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was watching students come in, that some of them probably would never have a chance to see a Broadway show if it wasn't for this program. So how does that fit into the Walton Arts Center's presence as a nonprofit within the region?
So as a nonprofit, it is really important for us to make all of these arts experiences as accessible as possible. And so coming out of the pandemic, we were able to make all tickets for the classroom series free to schools. There's no longer a ticket cost to come to a classroom series performance. And then most of the programs that we offer in terms of outreach and engagement, those are also free.
That is amazing. Thank you for doing that for our families. That's amazing. Kira, what does it mean for you to be able to come here with your students and enjoy a performance like this during a school day?
Well, it's a really great opportunity for our students because, like you said, not all students are able to come to a show at the Walton Arts Center, and I think that this might be the first time a lot of students have seen a performance on stage, and so it is a really good opportunity, and like we can bring it into the classroom. When we write, we have to write about our experiences, and just being able to give them an experience is a really great thing to do. Yeah.
Emiliano, what was it like for you today watching Dogman the Musical?
It was good. The amount of songs it has, it was like, I liked it, but the amount of songs is, I don't really like songs when it's a lot, but other than that, everything was fine.
So you're not a big fan of musicals, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
What was it like when you walked in the theater? What did you see? What did it look like?
Basically, it just looked like I was going inside a museum, but a specific room.
Right. Was it really bright and colored? Could you see the sets and things like that?
All I can, no, not really. I don't really know what that means.
When they're on stage and Dogman was performing, all the things that looked behind him, like buildings and images, that's all called the set. I'm sorry, I used a term you weren't familiar with. What was your favorite part of this show?
Oh, whenever they do the disco ball, I think that's a pretty obvious one.
Yeah, what happened when they did the disco ball?
Everybody was screaming and yelling, but I like the features, like what it does and how long.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it was a lot of fun. Sallie, can you describe the classroom series experience a little bit for students, and how does it align with the educational objectives of the school districts?
Absolutely. So, you know, the students will arrive on their yellow school buses, and we'll escort them into the theater. And, you know, we get a lot of questions between the bus and their seats. A lot of times it's, what movie are we seeing today? And so we do describe, you know, this is a live play. You're going to actually see people on stage doing a performance. And, usually the shows are no longer than 60 minutes. Dogman was an exception at 82, so a little bit longer, but that's the longest we try to do. And we make it a point to provide a learning guide for each performance that we have that includes, some resources for information about the show or information about the art form that the teachers can look up, as well as, some videos they can show their classes or something that's easy to kind of plug and play, things like that to make the show something that they can then take back to their classroom and continue to experience.
Kira, how familiar were the students with Dogman before they came here today?
So I would say most of our students are very familiar with the series. I used to have the book series in my classroom, and almost all of the books have disappeared. So my students this year haven't been reading it as much, but they're familiar with the movie, and I know for sure my fourth graders that I had last year are really familiar with it. It's a favorite for sure for elementary students.
Favorite enough that the books got kept at home.
Yes, they're gone.
So why is this a really good way then to bring the arts into the classroom for you guys?
Well, I think it's a really good way for them to see, oh, I really enjoyed, even if they're not familiar with the books, I really enjoyed watching this story. I can watch this story in book form. And I think that it's also really important to see, oh, I can watch this story in book form, and then when I'm done with this story, I know that there's other stories that I will be interested in. It just kind of reminds students reading can be fun, because when I watched the story, it was fun. So when I read the story, it can be fun too.
Emiliano, did you feel like the book was alive on stage at all? Was it kind of fun to see the story carried out with actors?
So the book isn't as what I'm familiar to in a movie, because I saw it in a movie first in the book. So I'm just thinking that the performance was based off the book, not the movie.
Gotcha.
And then they put songs in parts of the movie or performance, and they did it the way the book did it.
Emiliano, thank you for explaining that to me. I really, really appreciate it. Do you think maybe now you might want to read the Dogman books?
I mean, I would want to, but I can't get a chance because I don't want to buy one. And in Ms. Hart's class, there's none.
Well, maybe you could pop down to the library and see if you can't get one there.
Okay.
So, Kira, how are you guys going to be incorporating this then into learning activities for the students?
Well, right now, we're actually working and reading on being able to describe how characters respond to events. And I'm trying to make the students understand that events happen in our real lives too, and we respond to events and we have feelings. And when we're reading, we can look at responses and feelings as well. And so now that we've seen a book performed on stage, I think that it'll be really a good connection to connect like all the conflicts that were happening and the feelings that were happening in this story to actual reading.
And I remember when I used to take field trips, part of the fun, honestly, was the bus drive. So is there any way that you can kind of harness the excitement and the fun that came from today and kind of even build on it as you guys are heading back to the school?
Just keeping conversations going on the bus about what they watched, maybe what their favorite parts were. I know Emiliano's was the disco ball, but maybe who liked what characters, maybe even how we can talk about how characters changed throughout the story. And they could be even thinking about those things and keeping it fresh so that way we can continue the conversation and relate it to what we're learning in class.
Gotcha. And Sallie, how many kids, or I should say students, have had an opportunity to experience shows at the Walton Arts Center since this classroom series began?
Wow, so the classroom series began actually Walton Arts Center's very first year. So it's been going for over 30 years. And I estimate that we've served around 1 million students just with our classroom series alone. This year we're hoping to serve around 40,000, so a pretty hefty number. That's an increase over last year. So
That is amazing. How does that make you feel?
it's so exciting, and I think the most exciting part about all of those students that we have served is that we now have adults coming back, adults bringing their children, adults bringing their students, all of those different things coming back to Walton Arts Center, and now a new generation is experiencing it, and it's really cool to see.
It is really cool. You're getting to do good deeds for a living is what you're getting
it's
to do.
fun.
Are there any next steps to the initiative? Anything that we can look forward to in the future?
So one new thing that we haven't really rolled out much yet, but we are producing a small show that will be touring into schools in the spring, and so we're really excited about that. We've not yet started reaching out to schools to start booking those dates yet, but that will be happening soon. So.
Well, we hope you'll bring us into the conversation because we'd love to tell that story when it happens.
Absolutely.
We touched on quite a bit today. Is there anything you guys wanted to say or share that I didn't think to mention?
So, when I first got here, I was thinking like, man, I think this is going to be like a book, like the book, except like big and screen, and people are voice acting each character. I thought it was going to be something like that.
Are you pleased that it was different?
Yes.
Do you think you might want to come to the Walton Arts Center and see another show that's maybe not a musical in the future?
Maybe.
Maybe. I hope you do.
I don't think it's going to be like a school trip. I think I'm going to have to go over like with my family.
I think that would be a lot of fun. What do you think?
It could be good, I hope.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you guys for joining us again today. We're truly grateful for your time. You can catch this and previous episodes of Springdale Today on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. And you can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. We look forward to seeing you next time on Springdale Today.
Springdale Today is a production of Springdale Public Schools Communication Office.
The podcast is hosted by Mary Jordan and is produced and edited by Micah DeLacy.
Be sure to subscribe to Springdale Today for free on your favorite podcast platform.
And don't forget to follow Springdale Today on social media for episode updates and behind-the-scenes conversations.
Thank you for listening. We hope you'll join us in the future
as we continue to learn about the amazing stories happening in Springdale today.